Right, this says I'm live, apparently. I have been having trouble all day. This was supposed to happen hours ago, and I have had nothing but issues with setting up the camera. I couldn't do this on Talk Studio because this would be reversed the other way, and I can't flip it in Talk Studio, so I had to open this up in Streamlabs. Can flip this, but then Streamlabs kept crashing every time I wanted to add a new element. And I have to work tonight. I normally don't work on Wednesdays, but there's things happening. There's some problems, and I was asked to work tonight, which is normally when I do my art block. But I didn't want to turn it down because I didn't want to be a terrible person. The circumstances at work were not pleasant, and I knew they're in a bit of a pickle. And I'm hoping to go away to Montreal next month, and I've been pulling some streams, so I decided to take it to use it as leverage. That's a long story nobody's really interested in. So lo and behold, here I am. I tried to rearrange the camera. I'm going to be looking off camera because I can see the stream over there. My main computer is way back there. And I tried to move things so I'm not completely turning over this way, so at least it's kind of just there. I can see the chat right there, and I might open it up on Mr. Phone if that helps, but I don't want anyone texting me because I'll guarantee you someone's going to try and call me. I put it in sleep mode, but I do kind of need the phone on. So I wanted to do this for a while, a little test with some basic watercolors. I have a couple of little watercolor kits. I have too many of them, and a few of them I'm going to be maybe getting rid of or selling or donating or something. I have a bunch of singles Tombow markers. These are doubles because I have my elbow hurts. Big set of them, which is not the entire set. I just started buying them bit by bit, but this is still a pretty nice kit, and I like it. So I'm going to take the lid off that. Because Tombows are water-based, I wanted to test them out with watercolors. They can work together, Tombows, and obviously because they are water-based, but I haven't experimented a lot with them. I thought I got a big sheet of this really cheap, crappy watercolor paper. I got the second camera set up to do this, and it's obviously not wanting to focus. Come on. It's going to do this probably. So I've done a little light sketch. I've been debating whether or not I want to just go straight in with watercolor or ink it with the microns. I have a very nice set of micron pens that seem to be lasting me forever. I thought they were going to start drying out, and I bought a set of, what are they called? The German ones. I'm drawing a blank on them. I love them though. And I thought once the microns are done, I want to go back to these German Faber-Castell, however you pronounce it. Faber-Castell, I think, is the right European pronunciation. I think they're wonderful. There's something about them I really like. I mean, they're not that different from the microns, but I really like them. And I used a set for a long time until they dried out. Then I got the microns, and the microns are lasting me forever. I'm just like, I want to open. I might just open the Faber-Castell and start using them because I like them. I mean, the microns are good, and I got a whole bunch of different sizes, but they really do last a long time, which is a good thing. You want your markers to last a long time, but I want to use the other one. Maybe with the watercolors. I have 5 watercolor kits. Look at this. This is Pelikan. These I purchased when I was at Sheridan College when I was learning background painting, which I loved. And this set is oh god, open up. That's not mold. No, I don't think so. It's a double set, and I've had these since 1988, and there's still a lot of these left. They're wonderful, and I had 2 of these. Because I think somebody quit, and I bought his supplies kind of cheap because he was getting out of animation. So I bought 2 of them, and I'm missing one. I don't know whatever happened to the other one. But then I picked up these cheap when I worked at Value Village a long time ago, just because I wanted something to practice with and not use the good ones, because these are actually a really good set. These are more for fine detail. I guess you can use them for washes. I think if you want to use washes, you can use these. But they're more kind of for tight, when you get your small brush in there and you use like tight detail. I really like them though. They're very vibrant. Not very light fast, but they are very vibrant. And I have 2 other watercolor kits. Somebody bought me a really nice set for my birthday. It's a beautiful set. Sorry, the fan's going in here because it's very stuffy in here today, so the fan keeps blowing my hair. Yeah, and so I have like 4 kits, and I had another cheap set, and I think I have some other really like terrible one like dollar store brands. You know, I kind of want to get going. Oh, I do want to show something else slightly off topic, because I did a live a few weeks ago talking a bit about what I did when I used to work at animation, when I worked at Nelvana for a very short time. And I worked in the layout department, and I was doing a demonstration of how I used to do it, but I was using the tablet. I was using my XP pen, kind of showing it just through a basic art program, and trying to explain our field, using a field chart, and how we did that, because we did it all by hand. We did it like pencil to paper, right, like this. But we had to still use the registration pins, so everything lines up, of course. And everybody's seen that. If you know anything about animation, you've seen the hole punch in animation, and you have a proper peg bar for that. So everything has to match the peg bar. And there was a couple of kinds that we used. The ones we used were called Oxbury. They're a bit fatter, and now I bought one, and now it's the Acme brand. Yes, Acme, just like the Warner Brothers cartoon. But I found my old Sheridan College field chart, and I just wanted to show this really quick, because I am going to do maybe a little demo on how we used to do layouts, and embarrass myself a little bit because I haven't done them in ages, and I'm kind of out of practice. But I thought it'd be fun just to show that. But this was the one we used at school. But most studios came with these, so that you knew if you were doing a close-up, a medium shot, a wide shot, and you also had to mark off your TV cutoff. Because when stuff broadcasts over television, you're losing an edge. So you have to keep that in mind when you're drawing, to keep everything within a certain field. Anyways, that is something else I'm going to get into another time, but I just wanted to show that because I was looking for it that night to explain it. Couldn't find it. Then, of course, I stumbled across it a couple of days later, or a week or two later, and lo and behold, there it is. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna do that. I'll show that at least, and then I'm gonna do another kind of layout, fun time layout, old-fashioned way that nobody does anymore because the industry's completely changed. It's all done digitally. So because I took so long getting this set up, I had to make a coffee because I was getting stressed out. And I wanted to do this before Chris Runciman's stream, which has now started. And last I saw, he was talking about something about this book on Akira, which he's talking about. So it's too bad. I kind of would have liked to have sat in on that, but my life. I have to work tonight. I really don't want to do that. I was really looking forward to having tonight off, doing an episode of Art Block, talking about art. And I thought I'd try and do this. Okay, I took the shift. So be it. I'll try and do a stream today, and it's been nothing but a nightmare. It's been nothing but an absolute nightmare getting this fucking set up. I'm sorry, I just swore on my own stream. I said I wasn't going to do that because I'm trying not to do that on YouTube. I'm just so frustrated and angry. I was even debating doing one when I get home tonight. I might do a very, very short stream when I get home tonight. Sometime between 1 and 2. I might just a really short one just to sit and chat for a bit. If anyone's around and they're interested. What I might do, since I have my phone, and it is in sleep mode, but I think I'm going to open this up so that I can see the chats better on the phone if someone comes through on this. Because I know nobody's watching right now. I don't have anyone. There's no viewers. I might get repeat viewers afterwards. That's fine. I know you're all watching Chris's stream because he does it every day, and he's far more entertaining, and he's been doing this for so long now, and he's kind of set up to just up and go. So, yeah. But I'll open this up so I can see instant chats. Because they'll come through, even though I have Streamlabs open here, Um, if I open it on YouTube, I'll see the comments before they come through on Streamlabs. Streamlabs will come through a little bit later. There's about a 30-second to a minute delay in that range. So even in YouTube, like I'm watching this right now, and it's a slight 20-second delay, and then there's even a more delay when it goes over to Streamlabs. Ooh, that being said, I'm gonna. This is some cheap watercolor paper, and I'm just doing a little bit of test because I want to see how the Tombow goes over the watercolor. Even though I've done that before, but I just thought I'd do it because it does make a really nice effect. The Tombow works really, really well, and I have a palette for Tombow. I forgot to get that out. I know it's here. I do want to grab that palette, and there's a reason I need that palette. Tombows, every package of Tombows should come with a palette. What is that? Oh, that's just behind me. I'm sorry, I got creeped out. I thought somebody was standing there. It's our resident ghost here in the building that likes to creep around and say hello. No, it's just because of the kitchen. See, this is glitching already. If this crashes, I'm not gonna continue. By the way, if anyone watching this later, I'm watching this and it's bloop, bloop, blinking. I don't know if that's the monitor or if that's Streamlabs. Because if it crashes, I'm gonna have words with Streamlabs. I've given Talk Studio a lot of money and I can't even use it on this. And it annoys me to no end. There it is. So anyways, you can see I've used this one already. There's colors on it. So every package comes with this. And I think they've even added a few more colors since then. You can see they're really nice. And they're laminated. And the reason back is you turn them over. This is glitching, isn't it? This is glitching. I'm not liking this. I'm having words with Streamlabs. I prefer Streamlabs to OBS, but if Streamlabs keeps doing this, I'm not dealing with this. Anyways, you can see I've used this already. It's a mixing palette. So what you do is, and I'll do this a little more later, but you take your pen, you scrub down some of the color, some of the pigment on here. And then you can grab your brush, get a bit of water on it, and I've got my trusty water thing right there, and then you can spread it out and use it more as like a wash. It lightens it considerably. You don't get the hard pigment, but it's nice if you want just a very light wash of it. But you can't get a lot. It's not like watercolor where you can put down like a big area. This is more just if you want to spread it out a little bit more. An interesting thing about Tombows, and you'll see this more in a minute, is because they're a dye. It's a little bit different from watercolor. And you can see it a little bit in here, and I don't know if I can explain this very well. I'll try. When it dries, it seems to make a line around the outside. It's like the water, as it dries, kind of goes outwards, and it's to do with the pigment that's mixed in with it. And it makes it darker around the outside, like a line around it. You can see it around the purple as well. You can see there's like a heavier line around it, and it's lighter in the middle, if that makes sense. And you'll see that here when it dries. It's especially noticeable when you use it with water. Directly from the pen, it doesn't really do that. But when you're putting it down, when you're putting it down with water, somehow when the water dries and it evaporates, it pushes the pigment out to the edge. Can make a really nice effect if that's the effect you're looking for. If it's not, you kind of have to work with it to make sure it's spread out as it's drying. Interesting thing about these Tombows, and I want to mention this right away. I've said this before and I'll say it again, because people buy these Tombows, people love to buy markers. Especially they love alcohol markers. And these are not alcohol markers. They do not work the same way as an alcohol marker. You don't buy these and use them the same way as you use Copics or Ohuhus or whatever alcohol marker you like to use. These are not alcohol markers, and they do not work the same way as alcohol markers. Don't try and color something in the same method with these markers as you would an alcohol marker. I'm going to show you. These are water-based. So think of it like you're doing watercolor. Think about it, especially if you're putting direct color down with the marker, you have to think of it as though you're putting down paint, thick watercolor paint. That's almost what it is, and you're going to see shortly. They do have a really nice brush on the end of these. There's a brush tip, and it has a bullet tip. They call it a fine tip, but it's not all that fine. But it is a bullet tip, and it does come in handy if you're outlining something, particularly lettering. These were marketed more as a craft marker almost for doing lettering, but I think a lot of people caught on to it and started incorporating it more into artistic endeavors. So I've been sitting here yakking long enough. I'm sure everybody's like, paint, damn it! So, yeah, alright, I'll get into painting. What should we use here? Because we've got ivory black. Are these any good? I don't even know if any... Oh, ultramarine. Sounds kind of waterish, doesn't it? I don't know how I paint that one. I think I should by now. Let's see if these are any good or if they're dry. Because if they're dry, I'll get another set. Oh my god, the cap's on here bad. I don't want to wreck this. I have to be careful. This is like on here really tight. Oh dear. Are these oil? That's watercolor. There's one in here. Oh, oil color. I'm sorry. There's one that said oil color. It threw me off for a minute. I'm like, the hell? I don't know. Oil paints. This one says oil color. I don't know if you can. That's not going to focus. It's fine. But man, that threw me off. This is not going to. It feels like it's not. I don't know. Try another one. Falto blue. Okay, this one's at least opening. Bring this over a little bit. Falto blue. Let me put a little bit down in here. Oh my, yeah, this is old and it's cheap. The Reeves has a slight green to it. It looks like that's the paint or just the age. And it's flickering again. There it goes. I'm not liking this. I'm not liking the flickers. Oh, now it opens. All right, we're getting the ultramarine coming here. Let's see if it's any good or if it's all goo. No, I guess we're getting something down. Oh, that doesn't look good. All right, let's see what we can do with that. These are crap paints, I tell you. Whew. Crap paints. Enough of you. I've got some water, got some of my brushes. I think it's closed properly. I want this to close properly now because I'm going to put these away. And I don't want a huge mess before I leave for work. Apparently I have a viewer. Welcome viewer, whoever you might be. This has turned into a nightmare stream today. When doesn't it? They all just seem to just not go well. Maybe because I don't do them often enough. And I never have time to prepare properly. This is what I think I'm going to have to go back to, like pre-shooting a video, and it's like shooting and editing a video together as opposed to going live. Is because the lives just keep coming apart. But, I mean, I'd like to practice doing lives more because I really enjoy it. And I'd like to do them more often. But I just keep running into issues with them. So I'll do what I can. I do want to do some pre-recorded videos. Even then when I try to do pre-recorded videos, it's just, I still have issues that come up. I'm just trying to get through some of this coffee. What I'm going to do, hello, I guess I got a couple watching now. I'm going to test out I'm going to put down a bit of watercolor. This is cheap paper, so it is going to buckle. I'm not too worried about that right now. The test is to put down watercolor and see how the Tombow markers go over top. And you'll see, as I said, I've done this before. It does look really nice. I think I'd like to invest in some really nice watercolor paper. And do like a nicer painting with it. Nope, I'm down to one. I'm down to one viewer. I have lost one. I'm sorry. I have lost your attention. Well, Get some water going. I have these old brushes that are probably got a pile of dust coming off them. This is going to look terrible. And just in time for it to go out of focus. Good Lord. Stupid camera. Jeez. I like to put down a bit of water first. It's going to smear the pencil. I didn't even ink it. I might ink it afterwards. We'll see what likes to go on the ink afterwards. Maybe kind of a wet on wet technique here. Put this over here. That'll be for after. I wish I could zoom in on this just a little bit more. Can I get in a bit closer? Camera's going to come in shot, but that's okay. Usually it's like mic booms you see on like this podcast, this microphone hanging right in front of them because it looks cool. Real podcaster. So bitter. Alright, let's just load this up with some good old paint. Boop. Yeah, this stuff's somewhat granulated, not in a good way. You can get some watercolor, really nice watercolor that does have natural granulation, and you can. It's a preference. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing because sometimes people really like that granulation, and it can make a really nice effect in your watercolor. Some people like it, some people don't. Some people like to experiment with both, depending on what they're working on. If you want to get a real nice understanding of that. Somebody I'd followed for a long time and haven't watched his videos in a while because I really like him. From South Korea, I believe. Tio. And I know I have Tio on tech and he reviews his tech stuff, but his paints. What's his? I forget what it's called. I'll double check it before I go. I think it's not like Paint with Tio or Art with Tio. But he's very entertaining. He's sort of this. He's like the Asian Bob Ross with watercolor. He's very gentle speaking, but he's very entertaining, very informative. This went the wrong way. I wanted it darker at the bottom. Good Lord. All right, well, and I'm going right over all of this because I want. To create a bit of atmosphere here with this. I'm just mainly testing out this little fish guy here. He's kind of the star of the show. Already got a brush piece in there. Good Lord. Are you kidding me? Crap materials. These were really good brushes at one time, I think, because I haven't used them in a long time, and I don't think I took the best proper care of them. And you can see all these little bits from the paper and dust and shit coming off everything. I just swore again on my stream I'm not supposed to do that. Put on a bit of water again and see this buckling like mad. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see by the light hitting this a little bit. I didn't even turn on a light today. I'm right by the window and I thought I got some natural sunlight today. And it's now overcast. Just like my day. Yeah, look at this. I got all these bristles coming off this. Awful. I didn't think about that. So anyways, well, what's this look like? Oh, that's definitely. You can see these are very nice. There's the aquamarine, and there's the thalto, which is I think a little more green in it. I think. A little hint of yellow. Let's get I want a little bit of this, but not a lot. I want to kind of darken the base down here. Oh, that's kind of nice. That's lovely. That actually kind of works. I don't know how anyone else feels about this. I think it kind of blends nice with this, without the aquamarine. It kind of blends one into the other. That's really nice, actually. I miss doing this. I've been doing digital for so long. I've been spoiled. Because when you make a mistake, Command Z is your friend. And even as I was sketching this beforehand, I was like fixing it. I went, I have to use an eraser. I haven't used an eraser in a long time. Now it's wet. Let's do a little bit with the background. I want to kind of rinse out. Now the funny thing is, I'm looking at this, and it looking like with my own eyes, I can see a nicer gradient, but on the camera, it seems to show more of a separation. Like there's almost a line kind of through here, but I'm not seeing it with my own eyes. Maybe it's the light, the way the camera. I don't know which is more accurate. These little bits I could kind of very lightly brush up like this. That's a little better. I'm not getting the dark gradation that I got, but and I kind of want to work back to front a little bit here. Here, this used to be one of my favorite brushes years ago. I don't know why, but there's something about it you can make really nice, tight little effects with it. And some of these little bits I'm going to have to leave in. Now you're not seeing much at the moment. You're seeing very light. I can see the pencil and all this. I can still see the drawing completely, where I know the audience here cannot. I'm going to add another layer of this in here with this one because I don't want too much. But I just wanted a bit of darkness back here. Because it gets cloudy or darker, it's like you're getting a little bit of sunlight coming from the top that's coming through the water, but it doesn't make it all the way through, and it's darker as it gets to the bottom. I'm going to go back to this aquamarine. I can add just a little bit of like undersea background that's kind of faded out. I've got a little bit of plant life, but let's have a little bit of a mountain range. Very, very faint in the background. While it's wet, because then it'll sort of blend out in the background. Let that dry a little bit. So I can come in with a bit of green, and I think I'm actually going to switch to these, my Pelicans, because I don't get to use them that much. And I'm going to add a little bit of, in fact, I even want a smaller brush than this. I'm going to add, is this one any good? Ugh, that's awful. Brushes are terrible. Good Lord. Bread and butter. Let's see how this one works. This is a bit smaller. This was a nice brush. Oh, this is a reuse. I wonder if that came with this set. Or sorry, this one might have. I don't know. And we'll add this again. We're just going, this is nice for a bit of detail. I should let this dry a little bit, but there's nothing really to do in the meantime. And what time is it? I only have kind of a limited amount of time here because it's already, well, it's still 2:30. It's the time to see the dentist. 2:30. If you don't know that joke, I can't help you. Oh, there we go. A little bit of undersea. What did I see? I still haven't seen the Little Mermaid remake. I'm not sure I want to. I really liked the original one. I liked it a lot, and there was a lot of work and love and care that went into that original that just seems to have gotten forgotten. It's still there. It still exists. Yeah, you know what? You're making all these... If I say Beauty and the Beast, what comes to mind? everybody's going to be thinking about all these like these live action remakes, and I don't know why they started doing that. I don't like it. I think it's like, if you want to make a live action fairy tale, pick a new story that hasn't been done. Why is it you are insistent on taking animated films and then making a live action version? For the most part, they're not doing that much different with them either. If you're going to do it, maybe make a bit of a different story, a new story, a different variant on the story. Some of them make some changes within it. They add more detail to it, or more detail to the story and backstory and things like that. Like Beauty and the Beast did that, I guess. But I don't know. It was all the same songs and all the, I don't know. It kind of annoyed me that they're just doing this, and I don't know what the purpose is for it. This, like, for the next generation. Well, that's why Disney wanted his films re-released in theaters every 7 years. But there's so many films now that it's just to do that every 7. And then we have home video, which I don't think he foresaw, and paint on there. Is this any good? Or is that sort of... I don't think so. That looks like acrylic. There's a bit of blue paint on this, which I thought I might make use of here. I don't know. I've heard it's very good, etc. so forth. I guess. I as somebody who worked in animation, and I just think, the work that went into those original films, and if you talk to Glenn Keane or see interviews about him, what he put into making Ariel such a special character, and why she was such a very special character to that, and the changes that they made to female characters. You look at female characters back in animated films of the 40s, 50s, 60s, going all the way back to Snow White. They had a certain, I don't know what, there was a certain thing to them for that time period. They had to behave, as the female princesses, right? They had to be a certain way. And it's not that way anymore now. Audiences started changing, and he realized that in the 80s. He thought, they're not going to, audiences are not, female audiences are not going to connect, in the same way. And he put a lot of care into creating that, giving her a bit of life, like when she makes faces and she sees something she doesn't like, and she kind of makes these really weird faces. And some of the original, the remaining 9 old men who saw the film liked it, but they just said, we wouldn't have quite done it that way. And Glenn Keane was like, well, yeah, it's times are a little different now. My roommate's gonna walk in a minute. I just heard him come in. I didn't really want to spend a long time on this background. You can see it's very, very faint. It's very, 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 very faint right now, which is fine. I'm just putting down a base. I'm not going to have time to go into color that much as I'd like to. Not much I can really do now, because I have to get some dinner, and then before I go to work. I should live stream from work. They would be so mad if they found out I did that. I mean, nothing I can do, though. I just stand there and talk. But no, I'll try and do one when I get home. I just have this little side thing here. I don't even want giving it this much detail. It's not really going to be seen. As I said, this is really cheap paper, and I'm using really cheap paints. So it's not really looking like a whole lot at the moment. You're not really seeing much with this. My eyes are seeing something completely different. That looks horrible on camera. But I promise you, it looks so much better in person. Orange. I don't want this to catch the eye too much. I probably shouldn't have done that. It's a bit too warm. It really does look awful on camera. Good Lord. So I'm going to pull some of these pens. This is what we wanted to see. Let's try this first. I want to get a bit of blue. I just want to use some of these ones. So here you can see, I'm going to put down a bunch of color. And I know it's going over top of some old color that's there. There's some purple. That's fine. And then you can see it's putting down the pigment and on the plastic. I don't want a lot. It kind of behaves funny on the plastic. Let's try this little brush that I used to love so much that I don't like anymore. I'm going to put some water on it. Oh, look at that. Now that's actually not a lot. Like, that's very, very little. So I want to add some water to this so that it goes a bit further, because this will actually... this will use up really, really fast. We'll do Mr. Fish. I kind of want to go around the eye if I can. This is a little big. It's actually going out really nice. I'm going to push the paint around a little bit. I don't know if you can see this, but it's actually going down really nice. Very vibrant, extremely vibrant, and I can still see the drawing underneath. It's a little fuzzy around the edge. That's okay. The underside of that rock down there a little bit, just to get the shadow going on it. I can hear somebody in my building banging the door. Like, Jim, why? Oh, I know. I know why it's banging. The repainting the doors in the building. There's a fellow that lives in the building. A young fellow lives downstairs. He's also an artist, actually. And they asked him because he paints for a living, like paints houses and paints interior and exterior houses. They asked him to repaint the doors here in the building. So he's just going through doing each floor by floor, doing the doors. They're getting painted. They're black, and they show marks and scratches over time really quickly. So. But anyway, so it's oh, I got somebody in here. Hi, Terry. Yeah, yeah. I just sort of explained at the beginning. I normally go on Wednesday evenings, and once again, I got called into work. So I thought, well, if I have to work tonight, It was unfortunate circumstances, so I couldn't. I would feel bad if I turned it down. Um, so I took it, kind of used it as leverage because I'm going to Montreal next month. Uh, so I thought since I can't do it tonight, I'll try and do a live now. And I was supposed to go on about 2 hours ago to get all this set up, and it's been a nightmare trying to set it up. Nothing was set up proper. Like the cameras wouldn't hook in properly. I first set it all up with Talk Studio until I realized that this is the camera's flipped around. I couldn't flip the image, so this was upside down and I can't change it. So I had to close that, open in just normal Streamlabs, which is why I'm kind of set up with this boring arrangement like this. But set it up with Streamlabs, and then the cameras didn't want to work. You can see it's glitching. So I'm scared this because it crashed a couple of times before I started. So I'm if it crashes, I'm going to end up shutting down. I won't be coming back. But right now, I just set it up like this. I might still go live when I get home from work. That won't be until about 1 a.m. my time on the East Coast, so depending on where you are. I know it's 3 hours difference for the West Coast. Yeah, so I thought I might go on just for like an hour or something, just to chat when I get back. So, but I thought I'm gonna come on here and I'll do something, get something done. So I'm experimenting with doing traditional watercolors and then putting Tombows over top and seeing how that works. So yeah, I know. I want to change that. I want to start going to bed early, but it's this stupid shift that kind of disallows that. And because it's messed with my circadian rhythm. Because otherwise, yeah, I would like to go to bed early. And I have a feeling that's just not going to happen. Until something changes, but yeah, I would like to go to bed early again and have an early day instead of a late day. I would love to be up at like, get up at like 6, 7 in the morning, have breakfast, get my emails and crap out of the way, and then maybe do a live early in the day, like have it about 10 or 11 o'clock, somewhere between like 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Have some kind of stream going, and or work on a video, do a pre-recorded video, get it done early in the day. I think it would just be really nice to do that again, and this feels like it's kind of not to be a bit of a gray here. I don't want to go into too much detail, but one of my coworkers, I don't really see him that much because he works usually a different schedule than me, but I know apparently his wife is quite ill, and they've asked me to go in, and I know she's very ill. And I don't know if he's just because he was looking terrible because he was trying to spend time with her and then come to work. So I think they just gave him some time to go, so he could go to the hospital and spend a bit of time with his wife. I know they were asked yesterday for me to come in and help cover for him. I'm hoping that's all it is, and it's not worst comes to worst, so to speak. But it's been a long time since I've worked late shifts. Always hated them. Yeah, I didn't like them at first, and then they kind of grew on me, and now I hate them again. I don't, yeah, I don't like them. Don't like the late shifts anymore. I'd much rather. Oh, that's really heavy. I was expecting that to be lighter. I didn't want this to be that dark, but let's do something anyways. I'll do something a little bit with this. I'm not even going to get around to what I wanted to get to in this. I'm going to put the Tombows down now over the watercolor. And it seems to make... they do go down really nicely. Like, you really do get like nice bright colors in this. It's unfortunate they're not very light fast. Meaning that the longer that they're exposed to light, the more they'll fade over time. Watercolors, unless you get a nice, like, watercolor paintings shouldn't be in a room that's overly exposed to the sun. If it is, they will fade over time. I have a couple of paintings I did for my folks back when I was in college. They turned out really nice. It was these 4 pictures of a farm, and each one was in a different season: spring, summer, fall, winter. And they turned out really nice because I love background painting, and they turned out beautiful. It was part of an assignment. I only needed to do 2 for the assignment, and then I went and I did the other 2 because I wanted to give them as gifts to my folks. They had them up for years, and I told them they weren't light fast, and they understood that, and they hung them somewhere so it wasn't catching any direct sunlight. But after 30 years, when I had to take them out of the old frame and the mat came off, I could see how vibrant the color was out of the mat that was not exposed, the area that wasn't exposed to any light at all. And you could see how bright it was and how much the image had faded over 30 years. And it was kind of... it's kind of a little sad to see sometimes because, you know, that stuff fades. And I thought I could go over it and... you know, I could go over it and repaint them again, but I thought, I don't know, it's kind of not worth it now. They were what they were at the time as a gift for my folks, and I think now I'd rather just leave them as is. And they're away. I put them away now. I'm not going to put them out because I don't want them to get any more... I don't want them to get any more exposed. Oh, hi Jim. How are you, sir? Good to see you. This is, I keep reaching across because my paints are over here. You can see all my horrible age spots. I gotta do something about that. I'm really self-conscious about those now. So yes, I know this is an unusual time for me. I was just explaining that I have to work tonight, so I decided to do kind of an early stream today for fun. And it was a nightmare getting this started today, so yeah, I don't know. I gotta start using these markers because I think they are... Oh no, this one's almost dry. I don't like that. Freckles? No, I wish they were freckles. They're really not. And the sad thing is, I was never one to be in the sun that much. I really didn't like the sun. I mean, I know it's healthy, and you know, as a kid you get out and play a lot growing up, and you get outside. But I was never, you know, I never like sat out in the sun and to sunbathe and that kind of thing. That was never my thing, ever. I just, went out when I had to go out. Maybe because I just never used enough sunscreen in my life. Maybe that's why. I don't know, but just lie. Unfortunately, when you reach a certain age, you do see the difference between what is. I avoid this anxiety. Yeah. It really it can kind of mess you up. But yeah, there is a distinct difference, especially when you're older. It's like, no, you can say those are freckles all you want. Those are sunspots. Sorry. Or age spots. So yeah, it is what it is. I think I'm definitely going to outline this guy. When I was a kid, I looked pretty much like Mowgli from the Jungle Book. Oh, cool. Outdoor every day, running around the sun. Yeah, some people love it. My friend, my good friend who comes up from London, Steve, he loves being out in the sun. And I'm like, okay, that's your call. But I'm, because I love being pale. See, I never minded that. Everybody thinks that's like an unhealthy look, and I'm like, no, actually, it's actually, now it's actually more healthier. There is a guy, I think his name is Brian Johnson, Brian with a Y, and he's kind of making some waves right now. That would be good for a t-shirt. I love being pale. I'd buy that. Yeah, Brian Johnson, he's this millionaire, and he's been trying to look into de-aging. And I've been kind of a little bit fascinated by what he's doing. But if you look at him, if you ever find him online, he looks white, like he looks extremely pale. But whatever he's doing has been working, because they've been they closely monitor his aging, and they found that even though he's in his late 40s, he's phenomenal shape, this guy, and his health, like his liver and kidneys and everything, are like years behind where he should be. Even though he still kind of looks like somebody who's in his 40s, his energy and health levels are like off the charts. So kudos to him. I've been kind of looking into a bit about what he does, but he's rich. I can't afford what he does. So, but the monitor, he looks terrible. I know, he looks really pale and very gaunt, but all the studies, like, they monitor his health completely, and apparently this guy is like phenomenally healthy. I don't get it either, but I can't afford what he does. He takes all these crazy supplements every day, like something like 100 supplements a day or something. It's a crazy amount, and I'm like, no, I can't do that. There's got to be a better way of doing that. Mr. Fishy. It's kind of very relaxing working with this stuff again. I like it. I'd like to get a bit more practice and start kind of because I used to like doing background painting. Almost got a job doing background painting for a studio. They liked my work, and I should have got. I did start the, but the production was winding down, and they phoned me literally just as I was out the door to start my first day, and they phoned me and they're like, "We got some bad news. The production's actually winding down, and because we're almost finished, we actually technically don't need you. We don't have another one lined up yet." So yeah, I was like just out the door, like literally, like if he had called about another like if he had called about another 30 seconds later, like 20 seconds later, like literally the door was in my hand, and when the phone rang, and it was just kind of within reach of the door, but I guess it's good that I grabbed it, because I won't have to worry about going all the way in and having him tell me. But I was bummed out. That was the last thing I almost did. That was after I did Nelvana, and I was trying to find something else in the studio to work at, an animation studio. So it's oh, thank you. Yeah, I like drawing. I kind of realized recently I like drawing cute fish. I don't know why. I suddenly realized, like, yeah, I seem to just, when it's sort of an easy, quick go-to thing is to make funny fish with big eyes, and they're easy to draw, I guess. But yeah. What am I doing for time? The clock is way over here. It's just after 3. Maybe I'll do another half hour, and then I'll call it about maybe between 3:30 and. I shouldn't have outlined it, but whatever. Yeah, between 3:30 and 3:45. I figure. It's a feel-good drawing. It is. It is. It looks really messy. The funny thing is, this. I'm looking at it on the camera, and it looks messier than it actually does in person. I don't know why. With my own eyes in person, it looks. It looks a little bit cleaner, but that's what it is, I guess. Franklin, sure, we can call him Franklin. I have another one. This was one I did a while ago. This was another test I did with Tombows and Watercolors. I think I've shown this one before. There's a video way back when I had my studio downstairs, and I was doing a little test with them, and I did this long, like 45 minute video that's like way too long. And these were a couple that I did in them, so it's oh, Frank came in. That's why I missed Roll for Draw. Hi, Frank. I thought that's where they're naming the fish. I'm sorry. How you doing, Frank? Got to pop out. Just stopped in to say hi. Well, thanks for coming in, Frank. It's always Jim. I'm sorry, Jim. Thanks for popping in. Always nice to see you. And hopefully, be doing this again sometime. Hopefully. Have a fantastic day today. Let's see if I can. So not. I have to just get the lightest I'm going to get. I'm glad I got some people over here. I know this is when Chris does his stream, and he gets a lot of traffic over there now because he's been doing it for so long. So it's kind of nice to get a little bit of people over here. So not that I'm trying to compete with them or anything, but it's there's 2 levels to this, by the way. I don't know if you caught this at the beginning of the video, but this Pelican set I got in college. This is what we learned when we learned background painting, and it's more for detail. I mean, you can use this for washes if you want to, but because it's so vibrant, we use it kind of go back in for detail. I'm going to take my break in a little bit. Okay, all right. And we'll do some laundry. All right, yeah, so we used, for big washes and big areas of color, there was something we used to use. It was a liquid dye type of watercolor that came in jars. I forget what it's called. Lumacolors. They're gone. The Lumacolors don't exist anymore, which is unfortunate. The Lumacolors were really Beautiful, beautiful paints, and they discontinued them. I tried to find them, and they're gone now. So you just get these like tubes of watercolor like this, or the palettes, kind of like something like this you get. But these were details, and in fact they recommended this and the Lumacolors. If you've ever seen the animated film from Nelvana, it was long before I took animation, but it was called Rock and Rule. And it's actually really nicely done. The story is bizarre as all get, but the animation's actually really good. They did a fantastic job with one of Nelvana's better stuff, I think they did, as far as the animation. Story is weird. They actually started making the film before they knew how it was going to end. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward, basic film, but it's kind of fun to watch. But this is what they used. They used Lumacolors and these pelicans. I've got some of my jars of Lumacolors somewhere, but they're no good anymore. Like, they smell. They've gone bad, I think, so you can't really use them. But I often thought of maybe still trying to use them to see what I can get out of them, but they're kind of gross now, unfortunately. I wish I didn't have to go to work tonight. I really would have liked to have actually stayed and done this. If I didn't have to work, I just kind of keep doing this. I just do like a big long stream and do this here and paint. And sad when good products go bad. It really is. It really is. It's a shame. I mean, I've had them for like 30 plus years, right? I used them. I think we bought them in like 89, 90. No, it must have been 90. I think I bought them my last year. Last year, somewhere in there. And they did last for a long time, but it's just they only last for so long, I guess. They can't go forever. But my roommate's probably gonna come home soon. It's starting to look a little muddy in some of this, but it's, I guess, underwater. It's okay. I need to practice again. I kind of know what I wanted to do with this, but it just wasn't quite working. Also got to get that paper. Which paper were you looking to get? This stuff is really terrible. This stuff is, I'd much rather go. This is like 90 pound. I should have gotten like, well, I've got some 140 pound stuff. I just got this out to practice with a little bit today. Because I didn't want to use any like real expensive stuff for something I knew was just sort of to experiment with. I wonder if I can get like a fine mark. I'm going to outline some of this a little bit. I probably shouldn't, but it wasn't what I wanted to do, but it is looking so fuzzy. We're getting that paper. I know I want to get. I've got some. That reminds me. I have some animation paper, and I wanted to do some animating or layout. I'll probably more likely do layout. I'm not really much of an animator. I can animate, and if I do, I'm do it more traditionally. I like doing full traditional style animation, and so I thought about doing a little bit. Just to practice with it a little bit. But I'm so out of practice, it might come up being really embarrassing. I don't know. There was a guy who was on here, and I followed him for a long time. He kind of followed me, then unfollowed me. But he was interested when I told him that I used to animate, and he goes under the name A&B Animation. Very serious about animation. Very, very serious about it. His stuff's good. His stuff is solid. Like his construction work is really, really good. And he teaches. He has courses for traditional animation. I think he kind of concentrates more on that now. But his stuff is really, really good. Oh, getting paid means getting your money. Oh, I apologize. I've never really kind of heard that. Okay, no, when you said that, it just kind of reminded me about the fact that I wanted to dig out the animation paper and do some animating. Um, yeah, I definitely, yeah, sorry about that. I've actually never heard that. Getting my paper. I'll have to remember that now. Actually, I kind of like that. Get my paper. My favorite animator is Dr. Frankenstein. There was a low budget movie from the 80s called Reanimator. And I never did see it. I have some friends of mine that are still like, why have you not seen that film yet? It's like this tremendous B movie. Um, and I have never seen it yet to this day. I have friends of mine that have seen it so many times they can quote it. It's one of those so bad it's good movies. I do need to stock up on paper. Yeah. I have to watch that one of these days. You love Reanimator? Yeah, I've heard it's pretty great. I've seen a lot of B movies, and I love B movies from every era. Um, but that one just is one of those that just kind of escaped me, and I never did. I never did end up seeing it. I was supposed to with some friends one night years ago, and then something happened. Something came up, and I couldn't stay. And then ever since then, it never. I never got a chance to really see it again after that, or get a chance to see it after that. So about that, but I haven't seen either. Oh, okay. We should do a watch-a-thon or something. Yeah. Do you know what I would love to do? And I don't think I can get away with this, but I would love to do it. I want to find some old movies that are public domain, and I don't think YouTube will let me do this because I used to love watching like Saturday afternoon monster flicks. They'd air stuff from the 50s, and I loved the horror hosts that would come on during the segues. And then I got hooked on Mystery Science Theater for years, which is kind of the same idea, except they would sit in the bottom corner and they'd kind of make fun of the movie as they watched it. And they'd pick like really bad, terrible movies, right? Stuff that didn't really matter that much. And but they became popular for years. But I thought it'd be so much fun to have a stream and just play a movie, and maybe I could just I could sit and kind of make fun of it a little bit. Everybody could kind of watch it, and I could take little breaks now and again. I could draw during the movie, comment on the dialogue. But I need to find something. I don't know if YouTube will let me do that, even if it's public domain film. I don't know. I don't know if they'll. If YouTube will let me do that, even if it's public domain. I would think they should, but I don't know if they will. I think that'd be so much fun. I don't want any strikes from YouTube though, because they have a selection of their own movies on here already. Like they have their what do you call it, like their public domain movies, and I seem to move in a little bit closer to this, and I don't think they like people like broadcasting movies, which would be kind of a shame, really. I think that would be a lot of fun. YouTube can be trifling. It really can. They're really difficult sometimes. I'd still rather deal with YouTube than with, say, like TikTok. TikTok is so toxic. I saw some stuff on TikTok that I could not believe. I don't get what people are doing over there. Like, it's making people weird. I used to watch something like that where the people would redub the entire film. I think I know what you're talking about. They did Night of the Living Dead as if it were someone throwing a party. Oh, I think I've seen that. Yeah, they redub the dialogue over top. I've seen that too. Yeah. What's his name did a movie like that? TikTok makes me feel old AF. Do you know what? Don't feel old. I actually went over there, and there actually is quite a number of older people now jumping on it. That kind of got, this thing got around that TikTok was for young people, and all of a sudden, like a bunch of boomers and Gen Xers were like, screw that, and they. So there's a whole bunch of them on there actually now that are making videos over there, but it's turned into a place where people argue, and they have debates, horrible, angry debates that are just, it's so gross and toxic, and people are coming up with videos that I'm amazed are not banned, like, or that are not taken down. Like, it's, you can report something, and then if they even get the report, they'll be like, we don't see anything wrong with this video. And I'm like, this guy has his sisters tied up and gagged, and he's making it as a joke video, and they're on the floor. Like, I couldn't believe what I was looking at. I thought, are you kidding me? Do you not see this? Do you not see the same thing I am? I'm a millennial. Actually, that makes up a huge chunk of it. TikTok is like everything else. It's a whole mix of people on there. Actually, different age groups. It kind of doesn't matter who or what you are. It's kind of this thing that if you want to do it, just do it. It's not like there's TikTok police going on there going, you're too old, you can't do this. Like, no, just do it. If you want to do it, just do it. But TikTok just got gross. You know, people are just, it's frightening. It's ugh. Fussing with this thing too much, and it's red and it draws your eye to it, and it shouldn't. It should be going to the fish, and it's like way too bright now. I still got a bit of time. I kind of outlined it with the marker. I guess I didn't need to do that, but yeah, whatever. I do have a couple of friends still on TikTok, and every once in a while I go on and just to kind of see what they're doing, but it's just like, I don't know if I really want to watch this or not. That is like thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening. It's, yeah. It's, oh, there he is. Hello. I should probably call it pretty soon. Let me just sharpen up the edge of this a little bit. These are starting to go. I think I should start using these more often because it's some of them are starting to dry up, and I've had them for so long and haven't had a chance to use them, and they've just been kind of sitting here, and it's been a little bit frustrating. So now they're starting to dry up. So. Oh, you don't need to feel old. Not at all. You're still quite young. I used to say the same thing, and then, oops, that's really dark. Then as you realize the years go by, and it's like you kind of wish you could go back. I always said if I could kind of relive my 20s or 30s again, I'd almost rather pick my 30s, which I know seems strange, but I think there's this weird combination that you could still be youthful. You can still be youthful. What's the word I'm looking for? But like once you hit that where there's a 3 in front of your name, it's like there's this new level of respect. Oh, that's solid as a rock. This stuff's no good. That's a shame. This stuff is no good. So you could still be youthful and fun and vibrant and healthy, and then yet still feel like you have this sort of sense of adulthood. 20 suck. One kind of did too. I wish I could go fix a few things, but you're just young, and this is dry too. What the hell? Everything of mine is like not working anymore. Oh my god, I've hardly used this. This gel pen. Ugh. That's frustrating. And it's no good. All right. What is that? I don't know if I'm going to pull anything else out for the night because I kind of make a mess for the day. I think I am. TikTok's algorithm is wacky, I'll say. It doesn't matter if you like videos, it's the ones that spend a little more time. It does. With more time you spend on it, they get pushed. I get a ton of live stream videos recommended because I watch one friend's live videos. Yeah, they even tell you that now. If you do a video every day, if you do like at least one video every day, you'll get pushed out. If you do like 2 or 3, they'll really push you out because you're making content. And they like that. So yeah, that's how it works. Unlike YouTube. I still prefer YouTube. It's always making a mess. That's what we do. It actually seemed to kind of trim that. It actually kind of looks not bad. Once you get rid of all the stuff around the edges, you can kind of see it. Anyways, I was sort of hoping to do more, but this took up a lot of time. But I think I'm going to call it here because I do need to eat something, and then I need to kind of clean up and get ready for work. This was later than I wanted to today. But thanks for jumping in, Frank and Terry. I really appreciate it. I might... I know, Terry, you said you're going to be... Yeah, I prefer YouTube too. I always will. TikTok's going downhill. They're going to lose ground very quickly, very soon. But yeah, I know, Terry, you said you're going to be in bed. Frank, I don't know if you'll be around tonight, but I think about 1 a.m. my time, which will be 11, 12, 1. I think it'll be 11 o'clock your time, Frank, and 10 o'clock West Coast. So, yeah. TikTok will be up soon. Then 3 hours. Okay. Yeah, thanks, Terry. You too. You have a great day. Enjoy your day. And good luck with that, Frank, being that TikTok sensation. I'm going to call it off here. I'm going to switch her down. But thanks again, everyone. And we'll see you again soon. One